must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is. It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, "He is our son and he is our thief."
If you are deviant and I call you leader,
Yes.
probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers,
Yes.
do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa. The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa, with Africa, from Africa.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Political Command Center in London. And in Nairobi, we have General Headquarters, the head office of Punchline Africa Television, none other than Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon.
A very good afternoon to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you. Across the channel, English channel, we have Ghana Maina, Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Ghana Maina. Good afternoon, or whatever we call it. Can we call it? Yes, it's good afternoon in Paris. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. And thank you very much, Miriam. Today's show is a show where we shall concentrate mainly on the host country, Kenya, where this television is hosted. And we shall look at the events there. Miriam is going to mention them, and we interact with people, we talk about it, and see where we go. Then later on, we shall move about Africa. If you have any say, Africa have a say now, have something to say about your continent, your country, your village, your chief, your president. As long as there are no insults, we welcome them. You can print us here. Is there anybody stealing a COVID vaccine? Tell us also. The vaccine seems to have to come to Africa, but people seem to be stealing. Is there anybody threatening people or telling people lies about the COVID vaccine? Africans, we are lied to very easily. and we take it. Then when something comes near the door, it breaks, then we say, oh my God, I forgot. There are some people spreading that rumor, Miriam. Oh, don't take this. Oh, when you take this, oh, please, this disease is real. And I want to tell you, anybody watching, all of us, wherever we are, this disease is real. It's there. It's invisible. You can't say you are all right until you are all right. You can't say you don't have it until you are satisfied or a doctor says you don't have it. So take precaution. Wash your hands. Keep a distance. Yes. Don't shake unnecessarily. Don't travel unnecessarily. Don't go for political rallies. People are calling you, but when the rally is finished, it is you who is going to pay for that medicine. Thank you very much. Across back, hand over to Miriam to bring us the headlines, the newspapers. Then we juggle it out. Welcome to the show, Ambassador Maina.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Matsanga, for that introduction. On the leading newspapers this afternoon, the Sunday Nation, the main headline there, Raila's men raise handshake fears a day after losing Matungu Mini. Poll ODM leader Raila Odinga's henchmen claim top civil servants at Harambee House are plotting to botch the handshake and scuttle Raila's quest for State House in 2022. The story is on page 8. And just on top of that headline on the Sunday Standard, Embrace Uhuru Raila, Mukisa tells Western new beginnings during a homecoming rally in Bungoma. The former UN agency boss now asks leaders allied to Tangatanga to turn back since the president and ODM leader hold the keys to power there. And just beside that, Ruto, I have a plan out of Jubilee Wars. So he's saying there, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just strategizing, and soon I'll be on my way out of Jubilee. And on the Sunday Nation, the main headline there, BBI, Raila Party wants Kibicho out. ODM asks President Kenyatta to stop powerful Interior Principal Secretary from meddling in BBI campaigns as Orengo leads Orange Party politicians in alleging a plot to betray Raila. And then just down there, Kenya caught up in bribery claims against U.S. power firm. But we've seen the main thing there, Doctor, what we saw, I think Orengo say yesterday.
Thank you very much. I don't know where to begin. Miriam, time and time again, I have been on this show. I have been very, very consistent on this platform for almost 2 years. I've said the handshake that led to the BBI are not a political process. They are a redemption process. A healing process. We wanted to heal the nation. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to heal the nation, to reconcile the nation. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted the nation of Kenya to be united, to speak in one voice, to move in one direction. Uhuru Kenyatta with Raila Amolo Odinga came out despite the loss of elections. Raila decided the nation is bigger than him and the nation is bigger than Uhuru. For time over 40 years since independence, Kenya has had perennial violence. Every 5 years of elections, people run away from their homes. And we need to talk about this very seriously. We should not keep quiet and say, oh, this is Raila, this is... No, it's not only Raila and Uhuru who were affected. It is not those politicians who were affected alone. Neighboring countries like us were affected. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of refugees went into Uganda. My own country, my own county, I still have 27 Kenyan refugees who are no longer refugees but Ugandans. They have been there since 2008. They have shops, they have farms, It is something that we must condemn. Anybody talking about violence, you disuniting, disintegrating the state of Kenya must be condemned. The two gentlemen accepted to come on table, shake hands, a very sincere approach in whole Africa. There is nowhere in Africa that you can tell me that this thing has happened. An opposition leader comes and says, thank you very much, but for the sake of our country, let's begin working together. If you look at all that and put them together, you will agree with me that the BBI, and I want now to sound another one, and I will not be tired of calling people Miriam. BBI is a redemption strategy. BBI is a healing process. BBI is not, and I repeat, let Kenyans hear me, whether President Uhuru Kenyatta or Raila Amolo Odinga, you are listening and your people are listening. I am a conflict resolution expert. If you want to test me, bring an exam in conflict resolution. Mediation, I'll do it, pass with 100% without even looking at the books. You brought a strategy to heal, to reconcile, to arrange this nation into a better nation of tomorrow. Don't allow people to hijack it into a political circus. Don't. Those who are frustrated, who came in for reparations, must state their facts. If you have agreed to be part and parcel of this wagon train that has left, it is for the betterment of Kenya. Therefore, I call upon, and I want to thank the President for having been steadfast, and the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, for having steadfast in their quest for a united Kenya. Miriam, some of us who have come from the background of conflict, I am in London because I am in London. Millions of Ugandans are in London, in Washington, because of the conflicts that we had at our house, at our own country. My country, Uganda, has never had peace. 59 years of independence. They have only had, maybe give it about 10 years. The rest of the 40 years, we have been gabbling, fighting. We have been fighting each other. We have been fighting insurgents. Museveni insurgents, terrorism and the terror and the killing, destroying property and slaughtering people, human rights abuses. Then came Okello's human rights abuses. There has been, then after that, 86, we had a worse one. I am speaking from the bottom of my heart that a united country with poor democracy is better than a country disorganized with democracy. I'm telling you. I repeat the statement. I think it will, for people to get it properly. A united country with democracy is better than a country disorganized with democracy. If you have good democracy, but you are not united, even Somalia can come and point fingers at you. Even a small person will come and kill there. It's better to be united workers, Kenyans. Look at Tanzania across. I'm about to finish, Miriam. Tanzania across is united. They even got united under COVID-19. When Magufuli told them there is no COVID, they say, yes, sir, there is no COVID. But there is no Tanzanian who has got a gun to go to the bush. Those who are frustrated fly out, escape and go. Magufuli is intact with his power. He doesn't want anybody to talk about CCM. But when it comes to national unity, they have been the same, united. So, believe me or not, the BBI is intact. And I'm very happy that the Honorable Prime Minister has cancelled the appearance at Kamukunji this afternoon. You have listened to the good advice and the counsel from so many people, including some of us who have spoken to your close allies and the close people. Some of us who wish Kenya good. We have spoken out. We have reached out to people. We have reached out seriously. We are not going to reach out to Orengo. Orengo can say his things. And it's not the time for us to apportion blame. But we have reached out to the advisors of His Excellency, the former Prime Minister, and told them, enough is enough. Some of us want this thing of a redemption strategy to work. I have personally talked to one person, and I don't want to lie to you. I told him, we had a telephone conversation, frank. He has told me what are the this and that, and I'm not going to lie. I'm also going to say them, not here, but I will make sure that these are failed. These are house cleaning exercise. My people of Kenya, this is a cleaning exercise. This can be housekeeping. You don't bring them in public. Orengo, what is wrong with you? Senator Orengo, the things you are talking about are housekeeping. There is a country beyond you. Orengo, you have lived in exile for a long time. You have also escaped and changed the passports. Yes, you have been hidden in a bed when Moi was looking for you. You better be told also. You have been given food by people who had no food, who could not eat. If you have been a refugee like Matanga, also speak when you have a heart for other refugees. Speak when you have a heart for those who will go away because of this type of violence that will come out if we don't do. Orengo, are you with Raila or you are not? Half of you seem to be in an NGO, but I will not go into that today. I will leave you. Senator, I respect you. You are my friend. But some of the things that you talk like a kid. This is a delicate issue. The unity of Kenya is more important than your grumbling of some toilet paper, all this, we are not being recognized. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Uhuru Kenyatta has not endorsed anybody. Uhuru Kenyatta said, at least I can say who has said about the legacy. Uhuru Kenyatta said he finishes BBI to unite Kenya. Talk about 2022 later. He has not endorsed anyone. If he has endorsed anyone, Kenyans will endorse. The Kenyans have the right to endorse the person they want. But for you, James, I plead with you through this public. You're a very good person. You're a very good-hearted person. But stand on with one heart. Have a heart. You suffered for this country. You are beaten. You are tortured. You are thrown into jail, like some of us have suffered in the bushes of this tropical Africa, looking for the same. Don't allow these emotions to blur your principles. You are a mature man, you can pick a phone, sit down, organize, talk to Uhuru. Don't bring public utterances that can derail the entire process and can bring this country into chaos. Unite this country. Unite this country. Miriam, I don't want to go off the stage without telling you the truth. And let me say the truth here is this. The Western NGO has infiltrated again. My intelligence reports from New York, George Soros is at stake, is working again because he has got the money. He has interest in this Kenya for a long time. He has failed. He failed to detain, to imprison Uhuru Kenyatta. He failed to imprison William Ruto. He failed to imprison the Ocampo 6. But he has never given up to regime change this country. I want it to be known. I am not a Kenyan, but I am a scholar of international relations. Conflicts are not very good for any African country. Conflicts breed more confusion. We also talk silently to other Africans. We have talked to other opposition people. The Ugandan opposition, we withdrew the charges from court. It's because of some of us silent background operations. Don't go to court. Don't waste time. Let it go. 5 years, arrange to come again. That is the life that some of us have. That is the life that we shall continue to work for Africa. But for James, I want to tell him, utterances of that nature can plank a good thing and turn it into a bad thing. There are people looking for George Soros' money. There's no doubt about that. Maina knows that. Who doesn't know? Look at the way some people say we oppose. A constitution is not static. It's not a stone. It's dynamic. A constitution of any country can be cut anytime, even anywhere. Change it. Amendments come for the better of the people of that particular country. There is nothing wrong with amending the Constitution. Nothing goes wrong with amending the Constitution. But the most important thing is the healing process, accountability, truth-telling, restitution, reparations. Those are the things I'm mentioning now. Reconciliation is what Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is looking for. Less than that, even me, if he's not looking for those, and let Kenyans who are handling this subject, let the Kenyans, medium, a half a minute, the Kenyans handling this exercise, please stop telling us you know everything. Because some of you don't know anything. I'm sorry. Some people don't know. And they claim they know. No. This is 9 points. And these 9 points are for healing process. 9 points are for healing process. Nobody should bring here a confusion. They are not a political process. They are a healing process. There are people who walk here, they say they have degrees, master, all this. They go and lie. Don't lie. The 9 points that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta agreed on are healing points. They are not a political process. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to restitute Uhuru Kenyatta wanted reparation. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted reconciliation. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted unity, accountability, truth-telling. In those 9 points, you can see how you can restitute a nation. And after that, that nation is led towards the healing process. Then you can hold an election. Without that, let me tell you, Kenyans, zip. Don't hold that election. If you have not healed, don't try. Have you seen how people want to kill each other? Last week alone, you saw how many pangas, rungus, how many guns, how many pistols were drawn. How many people exposing their tactics of private militia. Kapondi, Baraza, Waruke. Yes, we now name them. They are not honorable anymore. They are dishonorable. Let them go and accuse us in court. These honorable members of parliament who pull out guns, name and shame them. Stupid. In fact, the guns of Kapondi are in the caves across near. Go get those guns. Yeah. Kapondi, we have been watching you for a long time. You people don't know what you do. Why do you come to Uganda every day? Do you want to do what? What do you Kapondi? Where? Why do you come to Uganda every time? Why do you come to Uganda? What do you want to cause trouble here? We call names now. We are not going to just say, we call names. Where? Stop coming to Kapchorwa. One of these days. Where? We have been around longer than you. You onyo. Skia Kaponde. That there are guns, there is a cave, there is what? You come again. Yes. One of the problems that kills you Kenyans, you keep quiet and these malcontents go on bringing chaos. You see, they come with guns. Some of those boys who came are militia. These are militia, these are not policemen. They look like people from another country. Or Katoras, these are the people disturbing you. We have evidence. And we are not going to keep quiet. And that evidence has been tabled. So when I reach the point of talking, there is evidence. Where unaendanga Kapchora kufanya nini? Where Kapondi, where Terere? Wait, we shall intercept you one day. We are not going to keep quiet. If Uhuru is keeping quiet, it is us going to suffer. The civilians, the people who want to come to Nairobi and relax. Hey! Yes! You go in a place with guns. Kapondi, stop it. Yes. If you thought that the people don't know what you do, you have exposed yourself. They have been following you. When nafikiri those night meetings you hold, people don't see. Eh? Well, you want to cause a problem? The border. Oh, I'm going for the cave. Cave, where kuja tena? Kuja. Tutakupatia watoto huko. Sisi tuchezi. Wewe nafikiri wewe ulianza rebel activities. Wewe. We are just disciplined, brother. We are just disciplined here. You are not even well trained. Some of us trained in 78. Well, you tisha Kenyatta every day. You are threatening people. Stupid member of parliament for what? You draw guns on people. Then you Kenyans are playing with people. These guns should be withdrawn. For you to have a gun in London, they must measure your temperature. the temperature of the body, the brain, even the stool, everything. They measure everything before you get a gun. I have my one for hunting, and it was given under good certificate of conduct. That even if I quarrel with you, I don't use it. In London. And it is only done on 26th of December, which is a hunting day, boxing day. When we go out to look for birds, it's one you put in, then you shoot. You see, discipline. To get even, there must be discipline. You can't have those type of things pull out to the public, to the younger people, to the children, to the women. And then the government is not calling you. They are watching you. So on BBI, I think I've delivered the several points that my friends on the panel can fill in. For me, I am Mr. Redemption Strategy. I started it 6 years ago. I want the journey to end very well. And I go home, a united Kenya. That is it. That when you fly from Europe, you tell people you are going to meet people in Kenya. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And we are also joined by Douglas Kirimi, Daniel Wesonga, as well as Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, and the rest of you, we've been looking at the twists and turns of the handshake, and in line with what Siaya Senator said yesterday, and Doctor there has mentioned that these are perhaps something he should have, it's an in-house thing, so for him to come out in public like that, it might affect, the handshake and the core reason as to why the handshake was happened in the first place. I don't know, what is your opinion on that? I'll start with you, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam, and also good afternoon.
Okay.
To Dr. David Matsanga from London, and also to Matsanga in Nairobi, and also to Professor Jared Onyari.
All right, we seem to be having a problem with
my opinion is that what is happening with Orengo today,
Okay, so Douglas, please kindly work on your network, and then we shall come back to you. Your signal is not very good, so I'll just go to Daniel Wesonga.
Yes, thank you, Miriam, and good afternoon at our headquarters here in Nairobi. Good afternoon, Professor Mr. Mainakana and Dr. David Matsanga in London. First and foremost, Miriam, I would like to quote what Chinua Achebe said, and he said in one of his writings that the old skin, oily skin of the house is not to be rubbed on the visitor's skin. And that is exactly what Dr. Matsanga said, that this is an in-house issue and it should not be discussed in the public. Remember when President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga initiated the handshake before the Harambee House office of the president, they told us that no one knew whatever they discussed. But however, as per the discussion they had, there was nothing which brought the 2022 succession politics. Their main agenda was to make sure that Kenya became a peaceful country, and they gave the people of Kenya a future they much desired. And that is what formed the basis of the big, the 9-point agenda of the BBI. Moving forward, Miriam, you understand that we have politicians who will force the former prime minister to go for presidency. And these are the kind of people depend on Raila's presidency for their own political survival. And the like James Orengo, who wants to fight for fair governance, and the only way to know is by riding on Raila's back. And therefore, they make sure that Raila is on the ballot group, and that's why they're pushing such an agenda. And I'll say, and I'll reiterate again, that let us not lose the focus of an antelope, a dashing squirrel. And this essence again, let us focus bigger at the BBI. Once we are able to we are able to bring in the recommendations that are in the BBI. We shall ensure that we are going to have an election which is a free and fair, an election which represents the view of the majority of the people of Kenya, other than fighting right now on who becomes the president after President Uhuru Kenyatta, whereas behind us a very big mess of our electoral system. So therefore, as a people should focus on these issues that are being put forward by the agenda, and after we have so that we shall be able to discuss about 2022. But right now, we continue in such good sabotage. We are going to severe the little progress that has been made through the handshake. So it is I'm hopeful to Senator James Orengo. I saw Juliet Mohammed and also Homa Bay women representative Gladys Wanga talking in the same tone. I would really urge them to tone it down. Let the two gentlemen, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Odinga, start the future of the people of Kenya, because they are the only ones who understand how much the country, how much pain the country undergoes whenever we are having a people every electioneering cycle. So that is my take, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Yeah, Miriam, thank you for that good question. And I need to start by saying that Kenya is a democracy. It gives people freedom to say what they want to say. We cannot gag them. We cannot be in their thoughts on what they want to say, Miriam. And let me just have this to put the record straight, Miriam. We did not come up with a 9-point agenda through the Prime Minister and the President for the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to make Raila Amolo Odinga the president. The president himself has said so, and the Prime Minister said so. And sometimes, Miriam, why don't we just check it from the Prime Minister? Because he has said that he's not even going to contest in 2022. He has said he will only ask him whether he's going to contest him after BBI. Why don't we respect that? If himself he has said that it's not after that, how dare you come around and say that you want to sabotage the handshake, Miriam? Let me tell you that, Miriam, that the handshake is intact. It was negotiated, discussed, and agreed by the two honorable leaders of this country, statesmen of this country, who have recorded a good place in history, Miriam. Because do you know what? They put Kenya first. We can see them as statesmen. We can see them as patriotic. We can see them as nationalist, Miriam. And they have given an undertaking, Miriam, that never again should the Kenyans kill themselves because on account or the sake of an election, Miriam. So, Miriam, you know, sometimes it is by my nature that I've got a problem with lawyers. Do you know why, Miriam? A very brilliant young lawyer came to Jesus Christ to ask, what do I need to do to inherit the kingdom of God? Even when he knew, Miriam, by then, Orengo knows very well that you cannot connect what happened in Matungu and Kabjai. In any event, the ruling party Jubilee did not have a candidate, Miriam. So how do you expect the government to get involved? Even I'm sorry, Miriam, I've got high respect for women, and as we read tomorrow, respect the International Women's Day. But even the ladies of this country, Miriam, they should know the extent they should go. You should know where to be at what time. What the hell was Gladys Wanga doing in Matungu? Does he come from that area, Miriam? Is he a vote on that area, Miriam? So, Miriam, when they found out with Marara and the other fracas, Miriam, how dare you just go to the Arambe house and blame the civil servants, Miriam? And remember, Miriam, the police did a good job, Miriam. They need to be complimented, Miriam. The worst could have been done if they did not act at Miriam. So, Miriam, you know Orengo very well. You know where what the wife does, Mutungi. He is trying to look for an excuse, Miriam, of running away from the handshake. But what I know, Miriam, is not a builder. He is just an outsider. So we should not expect such a reckless talks from Senator Orengo. Miriam, we have done pretty well. We were here. We said that BBI will be supported by all members of the County Assembly. I don't know whether we have reached 44 or 43 record, Miriam. More than the 24th threshold, Miriam. And Miriam, I admire what the Prime Minister is doing and Gideon Moi, Miriam. They are moving around and the President, Miriam, marketing BBI. Miriam, for heaven's sake, if you don't want BBI, why don't you come forward, Miriam, and we see where you belong? Tell the people of Kenya, Miriam, that you don't want to fight corruption. Tell the people, Miriam, of Kenya, you don't want inclusivity. Tell the people of Kenya, Miriam, you don't want in divisive election, Miriam. Tell the people of Kenya, Miriam, that we don't want shared prosperity, Miriam. Tell the people of Kenya, Miriam, that you do not want the youth of this country to be brought to the table, Miriam. Tell the people of Kenya, Miriam, the 2010 constitution, when we say that the 20% is having some problem, we are trying to fix. And we will end the next generation. So Orengo should stop such a reckless, stupid, foolish, backward taking Kenya to where it is, Miriam. We know he has never supported Raila. He has never, and they will never support him. He has only been on the tailcoat of Raila Odinga to survive. He knows that. So Miriam, unless I hear the signal from the Prime Minister and the President, is when I can talk about the handshake. But what I want to tell you, things are pretty good.
Okay. Very well. Yes, indeed. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have, continued with that handshake, and we've not had any kind of animosity or a different tone from what they've been showing in public. So perhaps if, the two there, which are the architects of this handshake, have nothing outside of that to say about it, then maybe that is what is happening there. Douglas, have you been able to fix your signal now?
Yes, Miriam. And one thing I think that we are missing as the people of Kenya is to see the schemes of the enemy against the handshake and also the BBI process. Because at the end of the day, Miriam, this is something that has survived beyond the expectations of William Ruto, expectations of the NGO world ran by George Soros, and everyone. Everyone, every day, they are astounded why the process is continuing and why it gets the support that it has. The other day, they tried to say that the 2 million car grant is a bribe. But Miriam, from where I see it, that these members of parliament and senators also who are being used by William Ruto and others who are also of independent mind have been receiving a 7 million car grant. We have never talked about it as the people of Kenya. I think it is the high time we also subject that one, that car grant into a public debate so that we can be able to see who gains between 2 million and 7 million. But that is not a going concern anymore. What we need to understand as the people of Kenya is that on 9th, on Tuesday this month, we are going to celebrate, I think, 3 years since the handshake came into effect, and people are planting seeds of discord before the anniversary is here and also before the BBI is delivered. So we need to be able to run away from those people because the president himself and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga has not been able to speak. Remember the supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta and also of the Right Honorable the Prime Minister in 2018 on a Tuesday morning. I think it was on a Monday morning when these people were caught off guard by this handshake. So I think even now they are operating in the darkness, especially Orengo, who has never, like Professor said, who has never supported the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, because Orengo is a man that feeds on the political carcass of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, because at the end of the day, he knows that outside Raila, he cannot be able to survive politically. So Miriam, we need to dismiss this talk because Raila has not spoken, the president himself has not spoken. People can write all they want to write, but the handshake is strong, but we cannot allow the simmering tensions that we are being created from the William Ruto camp and also William Ruto sympathizers in the ODM party. It is the high time that these people went out and also purged these decent people who are going to bring chaos and havoc into the handshake, Miriam. That's my opinion. Thank you.
All right, very well. And something here. Let me just read a bit of what the senator said, and then Doc, you can respond, and then we can move to our next subject. I want to state that the relationship between Raila and the president is formidable and still intact. And if someone of some state orderlies want to scuttle it for their own political mischief, then let them be warned that Kenya may slide into anarchy again. They better watch out. That last part of that statement, really, as a Kenyan, that is not something I want to hear. Such threats of violence, because this is what Orengo there is implying. What are the dangers of such statements that our leaders and make out there in public? Doc.
Thank you very much, Miriam. This is profiling. This is profiling. You are profiling one person. It is in political science, is the question of swallowability. Swallow, okulia, to eat. That's why I call, look, Miriam, that's why I called it house cleaning issues. If there is something that has delayed, you don't come to public. If the mother has not cooked food with granite sauce, but he has brought it with magadi to eat, you don't go to the village and stand and say, hey, my mom last night cooked it. No, you wait and say, ma'am, what happened? Maybe the granite was not available at the shop. Yes, they had not brought it from the main trading center in Kisumu to Ugenya. It was still on a truck coming. So you better know housekeeping issues should not be made political. BBI is not a political process. BBI is a redemption process. I don't know what redemption in Swahili means. Professor will tell me about that. Redemption, to clean the mess of bad elections. We are not talking about Kibicho. Why do you talk about Kibicho? Go on, you are a senator. Pick a phone and call Mr. Kibicho. P.S. I want to meet you. I am part of this. I am the chief. If you want to talk about issues that Kibicho, you are doing very bad. Orengo should stop the thing of profiling people. Miriam Orengo profiled me in 2017 at a public rally attended by 4 million people in Uhuru Park. I have not forgiven him. And I don't want to say why. But he profiled me. It is there. When I think about the statement, I feel like crying tears. But it's all right. That is the past. Orengo has that attitude of profiling. But let's go back to one thing. This by-election is on Matungu. Matungu, what is it called?
Matungu.
Matungu and Chebuchai. I can pronounce Chebuchai very well because it is near my it's one river across my own district. Let me tell you, the bad organization of ODM party, wacha tuambiane ukweli. There is something bad organization there. ODM used to be a formidable party. But there is childish behavior somewhere. The Secretary General is insulting women. That childish behavior of Sifuna. Raila should check. Mimi, I'm a married, I talk the truth. Mutu anawaharibia your party. Raila, don't focus on anybody else. Mistakes are way there. That's why you are losing. No. We go on just washing this thing under the carpet. That's childish. That is, look, childish behavior. of handling a big party of 10 years. This party has been there more than 10 years, isn't it? It is being handled very badly at the secretariat. 2, sindio tuambiane ukweli. 2, let's say the truth to save Raila from this problem. 2, Orengo is jealous because Junet, Raila chose Junet, but not him. Hey, I am over 65 years. What will you do? Will you change my age? Kwenda. I'm also going home. If God calls me, I'll go. But I will leave when I've hammered the truth. That is jealousness. Orengo is jealous because Junet is a Somali, but he's found in Migori. How did Raila collect him to go in this secret meeting? That is an obstacle. Let's go on. You want another one? I give you. The problem is there. And these are the people, these are the things causing ODM to lose. There is rivalry, power struggle. The chairman body who used to speak so well and the man in this party has lost, has stepped aside, is quiet because he doesn't work with the Secretary General properly. He doesn't at times see the statements of the Secretary General. So we better help LDM people to know that the problem of them losing these seats is their own organization. They are not organized like they used to do. Baba still has support in Western Kenya. He still has it. But he needs, you see, there is that Sifuna is a Bukusu. And to get Sifuna, Secretary General, place him in Matungu, near Kagamega, which is more of Maragore, you have created a problem. Nobody will give you a vote. Did you know that, my friend?
I do.
Bukusu, no Maragore will give you a vote. I teach political science. Miriam, these are the points that we must point out to His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, to clean ODM, bring it, if it is going to face the other machine, motor machine of the hustler. Is it hustler or rustler, man? If Raila is going to face a rustler or hustler or Wasokatora or whatever you call him, if you are going to face Ruto, there are people who come to TV and tell lies. I don't tell lies. I tell the truth. If you are going to face Ruto and you have a Secretary General like a Sifuna, you are going to lose. Tuambiane ukweli. Yes. This thing needs management. Management somewhere in Elekea. What is it called in Swahili? Kulegesha. Something has loosened the nuts. Therefore, it is putting the Honorable Prime Minister under pressure. Some of the programs are not working properly. Some of the things are not being delivered in time. Some of the campaigns are not done the way the Prime Minister does his campaigns. He's a popular man. He's popular in Kenya. He is 75. Give him a chance. Let him go. He has suffered for this country. On this one, tuko pamoja. On this one, I am with you. On this, I am not ODM. But for me, looking back, this guy has suffered. And if still God has kept him as to today, mumuachie hiki kidogo miaka 5. That is me. I've spoken my mind. It's my personal view. Okay? So, don't accuse me of not, I'm against ODM. No. ODM is doing a good job. But the collapse of this Matungu and others is because of childish childish strategies of exchanging hot words. Exchange hot words with ladies who have come there. No! The party must pull up its socks.
Very well.
And it should not kill our dream of BBI. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. One of our viewers here, Abdi Ngurusi, thank you so much for writing to us this afternoon. You're saying ODM leadership is reckless and should stop blackmailing others. ODM Secretary General is a liability to the party. His continued insult to Kalonzo, Mudavadi and Wetangula is unfortunate and childish. The trio have stood with Raila, but today the party is on a campaign to tarnish their reputation for political relevance. Abdi, thank you so much for that.
William, I had not also, thank you, and you should also thank me, Kabir, because I had also seen that same mistake. And I want to thank Mr. Ngurusi for thinking like me. Honestly, that party is being destroyed by the childish behavior of the Secretary General.
Of the leadership there.
Yes, if the Raila is listening to me, I'm an editor. Like him, he has suffered. I'm a gorilla rebel reader. I've been in the bush like he has suffered. Listen to me. Change. If you are going to face this restaurant man, this man, change. We don't want all of us to kill our professions. Man, I'm killing a profession by coming to support. I might not be a voter, but I'm an influencer. Don't destroy our profession, and then we are told to pack the bags quickly because of this bad behavior here. You are an enigma of the party. Take the party, handle it, take a stick, and tell people this is what I want to be done. Such things would not have come in public. You think there are no squabbles in Jubilee? You think there are no in Jubilee? You think Uhuru has no squabbles? Have you seen Uhuru? People who are very close to Uhuru come out and lash. Where are they?
Yes,
have you seen them?
Yes, Dr. Matha, we have to be that our government entitled the government is coming into win an election seat. When you look at by election, Jubilee lost in London Ward, and we never saw the Jubilee leadership blaming anyone for the loss. And as it was, when you look at Kapukate, Kalasinga was the most projected popular candidate there. He won. We go to Matungu. Lindo was the most popular candidate even before the campaign began. Lost in London, we never saw anyone complaining. So I think blackmail campaign being done by audience, it is a bit unnecessary, and they should know that any political in any particular area of jurisdiction rests with the party, and that is the if you do not put your house in, then you win. And if you lose, don't anyone. I think this is what we be prudent about.
Yes.
All right.
Ambassador Maina is online in Medium.
Yes. Well, I wanted us to just complete that, and then we go to the other topics that we have for today. I don't know if Ambassador has anything to say on the squabbles here in Kenya and the BBI. Ambassador, good afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, Miriam, you can move on because lately I'm not really connected with Kenya politics. Maybe you can move on, okay?
And that's why I noted that, and that's why I needed us to complete that, which we have, and go to our second phase of the show. And we have two countries today to look at in Africa. And the first one is South Sudan, is the peace holding, and then later on we shall look at the current situation in Senegal, where opposition leader has been arrested. So let's just start with South Sudan. The U.S. representative to the United Nations has called on leaders of South Sudan to accelerate the precarious peace process. Linda Thomas Greenfield, who made her first official Security Council briefing on the 3rd of March, said the situation in South Sudan remains very perilous. And South Sudan's leaders announced their commitment to form the revitalized transition government of the unity a year ago, but the full formation of the unity government dragged as parties have just announced the formation of state-level government structures. The unity government is yet to graduate and deploy a national army made up of forces of the opposition and government. The national legislature, a body crucial for the enacting reforms spelled out in the peace agreement, is also yet to be constituted. So a myriad of very important things there that have not been able to be met that were part of the revitalized peace agreement that was signed in 2018, and the peace in South Sudan remains precarious there. I'll start with you, Ambassador. The situation in South Sudan. Is the peace holding? Okay, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. We need to also understand that at the end of the day, what has been happening in South Sudan is the egos of the big men that has also costed the lives of children, women, and also men to be disorganized in South Sudan. What I think at this juncture is that peace in South Sudan is not holding because Riek Machar does not trust Salva Kiir, and also Salva Kiir and his faction does not trust Riek Machar and others in South Sudan. So my opinion on South Sudan still remains that peace in South Sudan has a long way to go. They have to continue nurturing their peace, and also for the big men in South Sudan to be able to hold their houses and also be able to come up with the solutions that cater for the people of South Sudanese without the elite necessarily putting up their ego. Because, Miriam, they have benefited from this war more than any generation that will ever come again. Because as they continue fighting the infighting in South Sudan, as communities continue fighting, the big men are not affected. Riek Machar will flee to another country. Dr. Salva Kiir will continue being president. And these things are not working for the ordinary South Sudanese people, Miriam. At the end of the day, the South Sudanese children continue not going to school. Women are being affected by this war that is going. And this is a war of egos. This is a war of big people. These are the elites in their countries, especially who have rooted their country dry and also stashed money in Kenya and invested in Kenya and other countries. So, Miriam, and also we need to also move from to another level. Like President of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, is a very big crusade of the peace in South Sudan. He has appointed a special envoy, the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, to South Sudan. We need to be able to speak to people like Uhuru Kenyatta, speak that our voices will reach him, so that Uhuru Kenyatta can now be able to call out other regional leaders so that they can take punitive measures to be able to stem the egos from these men so that they can find a lasting solution to the peace in South Sudan. Because as long as they continue stifling the peace processes in South Sudan for their personal gain, the efforts of President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya will be watered down, Miriam. Because at the end of the day, if they continue this way, the people in South Sudan are going to continue suffering the effects of war and consequences of the same. While the big men and their egos and their children continue enjoying the root, the people of South Sudan will continue not in any way united or peaceful, because, Miriam, this is a war of big egos around, and also these communities that they want to force to bring together. They need to give them the identities and give them the districts that they want or counties that they want, so that they can be able to now move together as the people of South Sudan. But as long as these big egos continue between these men, the war of big egos, South Sudanese peace is not going to work. What is there is just a paper that Salva Kiir can be able to trash, and also a paper that can be able to be trusted by Riek Machar and other functions in South Sudan, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, very well. And the latest report there from Juba is that some hotels in Juba say they have kicked out over 300 peace delegates from their property over unpaid bills. The general manager of South Sudan Hotel, Mel Garang, said at a joint press conference held on Thursday that the affected hotels have run out of patience. This comes after the National Transitional Committee, chaired by the presidential advisor on security, Tut Gatluak, failed to pay their accumulated bills. So this is what happens. Some of the members of the committee, the peace committee there, they live in hotels in Juba, but also these people have houses in Juba. And so now the the peace process there seems to be, standing at a jeopardy. Professor, I don't know, help me understand this.
We have discussed this one, Miriam, about the peace process in Southern Sudan. And I've said that, Miriam, if there is a way and something to be done, Miriam, to help the people of Sudan enjoy peace, that is the way to go. But I want to recommend the two leaders, Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. It has not been easy, Miriam. There is lack of funding, Miriam. The peace deal which was signed, Miriam, needs some funding, Miriam. And be it as it is, Miriam, and I want to say that, Miriam, for the peace to hold, they have to remove the undercurrent of deep suspicion. They don't trust each other. And that's why I want to say that I want to see them having a proper handshake, and Miriam, and commit themselves that they want to bring peace to Southern Sudan, Miriam. There is also lack of political will from the two leaders, Miriam, the two factions, Miriam. See the kind of people whom they have given appointments, or those people whom they have appointed to the government, Miriam. Some of their relatives, their cronies, Miriam. This one does not act well, Miriam. There is also, Miriam, some delay in unifying the army, Miriam. And some of the groups have asked to be included in the deal. You know, yes, Salva Kiir and Riek Machar signed, but there's some groups which were left outside. So for the peace deal, Miriam, to hold, let them involve the people of Southern Sudan. And I hope the people of Southern Sudan, Miriam, some of them, I see them lingering and loitering in the streets of Nairobi, tormenting problems back at home, but enjoying peace here in Kenya. It is high time, Miriam, that they realize that their country will be built by none other than themselves, Miriam. There's a time, Miriam, if the blood comes out of your mouth, out of your tongue, you swallow some and you spit out some. This is the kind of spirit, Miriam, I want to ask the people of Southern Sudan, Miriam. Let them just borrow what's happening. Dr. Masanga has raised a very valid point, Miriam. It doesn't mean that, Miriam, we don't have problems. It doesn't mean that we have got issues, Miriam. The Prime Minister and the President for the Republic of Kenya have to say that Kenya is bigger than any of them. And this is a kind of message I want to tell Salva Kiir and Riek Machar and the people of Southern Sudan. For how long is the world going to tell them embrace peace? Who is going to build their country? A time will come, Miriam, even the world will get tired with them. Wherever you spot them around, and Miriam, the way they are tall and black, Miriam, you will spot and say that this is a Sudanese. We will tell them go back home and embrace peace, Miriam. So what we want to do, Miriam, the old grudges should be removed, Miriam, and say that the country has to move forward. So for the peace to hold in Southern Sudan, Miriam, let them involve everybody. You know the crowd on the call we say, and you and I, we always say, let them leave no one behind, Miriam. Let us have a negotiation. Let us have a conversation, Miriam, on what we want to do with Southern Sudan, Miriam. And out of that, a solution will be found on how to go forward. And the world, Miriam, should not get tired. The peace deal agreement which was signed needs funding. May the fundings, Miriam, be provided for the peace deal to move forward, Miriam. I submit.
Professor, it's interesting that you think, of course there's a lack of funding, but just I think 2 weeks ago, the United Nations Security Council is demanding for reports of the money, oil money in South Sudan and how it's been spent and the companies that are responsible for that. That is to say, actually South Sudan is making money. So is it about the money and the funding that is lacking, or is it about, the will from this leadership? Because the rest of the world seems to be wanting this peace in South Sudan more than they wanted themselves there, Daniel.
Yes, Miriam, first and foremost, I would like to delve into the South Sudanese problem in threefold. First, we have to realize that these are people who started fighting long way before even they got their independence from the wider Sudan. You remember when we had the dictatorial regimes, the successive dictatorial regimes of the North, These people were always pitted against one another. The North always used the divide and rule tactic amongst the South Sudanese tribes, and these led to tribal animosities between the tribes of the South. So this is a problem which has been there long even before they got the independence. You know, as John Garang and his compatriots were fighting to gain the independence from the North, we had also their compatriots who are equally from the South and who are equally fighting their cause. And then we come to the second problem of South Sudan. It is what we call the Dutch disease, and this is the curse of the resources. Get away oil from South Sudan and you'll be able to achieve peace. But as long as we do have oil in South Sudan, we shall never have peace and tranquility. It is the same problem that we have in Katanga in Democratic Republic of Congo. It is the same problem we had in Angola, having a Sabimbi fighting with these other the other nationalistic movements. And therefore, as long as we have that resource in South Sudan, we shall always have local interest and the foreign interference pitting South Sudanese against one another. Number three is the lack of goodwill amongst the political class, the ruling class. As Professor Jared Onyari says, we do have the profiteers of the mayhem in South Sudan living here comfortably in Nairobi. I know of one student in United States International University in Nairobi who is dropped by a chopper daily, a South Sudanese student, dropped and picked by a chopper each and every day at USIU. So that tells you that we have big stakes when it comes to people who profit from this mayhem in South Sudan. And therefore, before they are able to give willingness to broker peace between the tribes of South Sudan, we shall have no peace. And that is why when the Pope visited the delegation, that is Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, he had to kiss their shoes to show that these are the only people who are standing on the way of peace in South Sudan. And if these people could put the country ahead of before them, then undoubtedly we are going to achieve peace in South Sudan. But before the three are able to be solved, Miriam, we are still miles away from achieving peace in Africa's youngest nation.
Okay. Thank you for reminding us about that visit at the Vatican in 2019, and the Pope, as old as he is, he struggled, got to their feet, kissed them, and we thought, this will be the case that will bring peace in South Sudan. But Doctor, that has not been the case.
Thank you very much, Miriam. This is, I'm partly Sudanese because I formed South Sudan. We formed South Sudan. The removal of the Lord Resistance Army troops, combatants, fighters from Eastern Equatorial over the Nile to Western Equatorial brought about South Sudan. Point number one. Point number two. Until South Sudan goes to the best principles of Garang, of peace building. Garanga said, for a state to be stable, the basic principles of peace building must begin with the people. We began with positions. In fact, in our next round, we might have several vice presidents added. So you are building a structure above, but you are not talking to the people for the peace to grow. Point number two, that's it. It will not be there. Sorry. This is just let's not quote and lie each other here. Let's talk like Maina, Gaina, ambassador here. He talks like this. And I'm also talking like this, beyond him. Let's not tell a lie. There's no peace building from the bottom. It is a peace building from the top. One error which the whole world did was not to listen to me because I'm a black professor. Look at my document of 2013. How to break the cycle of violence in South Sudan. Miriam and the panel, go and get that document. Read and see the material. Had the world listened to this man who knows react in and out, the leg, the left, the eye, everything, the tail, the height, we have trouble to get a helicopter that was going to kill all of us. You hear me? Going for peace for my own country. The world would be safer. They didn't listen. Point number 4. It has been quoted by Professor Nyari and my dear brother Daniel. Money. How do you keep peace when your pocket is even empty? How do you keep peace? South Sudan should be placed under UN mandate. Full stop. Why are you wasting our time? What is it? Place them, put a man there like a Chisano or anybody who can control the peace process from UN. Here at the Security Council, you are doing zero. You have embarrassed us. I'm sorry, Kenya is on the Security Council, but I have to say the truth. You went there this month. I'm sorry, or last month. But no, Your Excellency President, on this one, you have done very well. But a country without money, how will it run a peace process? We should be a donor. We should do a donor conference for South Sudan. Bring some money. People put money in South Sudan, but the lip service are choosing them, yes, flying by helicopter, by what? Yeah, someone, it is not a communist state we're song. It is a capitalist state. If the man has made money and he has got his money, that is up to the authorities to check. And that is good for the authorities, not for you and me. For if he has violated any rule, fine. But South Sudan is not a communist state where you expect everybody to work on food, where others must drive, but they don't have the money even to pay the hotel. Miriam has said the hotel, do you know that it happened to us? Exactly, that's what happened to us. But for us, luckily enough, the European Union, the United Nations, and the African Union were paying our allowance.
But Doctor, you are from outside South Sudan. These are South Sudanese leaders who have homes in Juba.
I was coming there.
Yes.
You know that I was coming to tell you the story of those guys.
Okay.
You know, those guys, there are two things. If you want to harass them and they kill you, you touch a beautiful woman from Uganda, there will be several AK-47 coming for you. 2, you tell them to go to the village. Which village? Which one? Miriam, which one? Do you know how big South Sudan is? From Juba to reach one village is about 2,000 miles. By road, and there is no road. Now, some of them don't know even where their villages are. So don't blame them about staying even in the hotel, because they don't have a house. They don't have a home. I have been there. 3, they like perfumes, they like everything. They are very lazy also. But they are not, yeah, I talk the truth, but they are not thieves. I want to tell you the truth. There is no theft. The South Sudanese will not steal your property. Will not, even if the briefcase lies there, you will find it there with the money as it is. They don't have the habit of stealing like us in Uganda and Kenya. We have a habit, we have to agree. No Kenyan can see a briefcase of dollars full and leave it. No Ugandan can see. Nobody. They don't have that habit of stealing things. You can sleep in South Sudan the days I was there. The door is open, the wind from River Nile, and the legs are up until in the morning, nobody will kill you. Except Museveni could send people to throw in the river. That's the only problem I have. So I had to get 20 bodyguards who were staying outside my door, 20, because I was a leader of the delegation of peace. Because Museveni had threatened to get men to throw us outside through River Nile, and it takes me to Egypt. So these are some of the consequences of peace. But Miriam, those factors combined, South Sudan should be placed under a direct United Nations intervention. IGAD has done its job. For the status to rise high, let's get South Sudan under the UN real supervision. Not even half. They have the president, okay. But let them have officers pumping money in the peace process. Without the money, without building the peace from the bottom of the villages, peace cannot hold. Otherwise, I wish them good luck. And I believe one day, Professor, you can pull out that document and Stephen can send it to you. My document that I wrote in 2013 when the war had just broken out. It is still there, very valid, and the points are now working today. If they don't use those points, they will never achieve peace in South Sudan because there is ego of the two leaders. None of them would like to say one is shorter, both of them are tall. So you can see the problem. They are all my friends. And what I have done, I don't talk to any of them these days. I have kept quiet. Yes.
Because you need to come in, doctor.
No, if you talk to this one, they say he's working with Riak. When you talk to Riak, they say he's working. So what I have done is to keep my mouth. You know me, my mouth is very loud. To keep it quiet. I don't want to talk. But my dear brother, I'm telling you, and my sister and the brothers here, until they go back to Garanga's basic unit of principles of peace building. Had Garanga been alive, South Sudan would not be there. There would be one Sudan. And it would be very prosperous. And that's why something happened to Garang. Something happened to Garang, Miriam. Had Garang been present, there would be one Sudan, a mighty Sudan, a superpower. That was his aim. Garang fought against the Arab emancipation from the Arabs. But he did not want the separation. Are you with me? Garanga's views was not to separate the Arab and the black and the Arab. No. He wanted a united Sudan, a president of one big Sudan. Do you know how much money they would be making today? But an imperialist system saw that was going to happen. And unfortunately, my great friend, the man who gave me $1,600, 6 days before his departure, no, the same 2 days after that he departed. He was killed in a plane crash. When I looked at those dollars when I was in Harare, in fact, I did not change any. I flew back with them. I've kept them somewhere in my house. They are old. They have changed the color. Even they have changed the type of dollar. May his soul rest in peace, that great guy. of Africa. He said you are still a refugee in exile. You need to pay your way when you are going. You are going where? To Zimbabwe. Here is money. He told his PA to go up and pull that money. Those are the people in Africa you need. But unfortunately, God says this is the time. But Garang was the best leader for that nation. And whoever, if there is anything that was done against him, let God also pay that person with the same currency, whoever did it. Maina, back to you, Miriam. I have kept quiet now. I don't want to go beyond this. I could cry tears.
All right, very well, Professor, and no, not Professor, but Ambassador Maina. A lot of things are happening there in South Sudan. They, they signed the peace deal again last year. I think a year later, almost over a year now, last year in February, and we thought maybe now that will put them in a path towards finding a lasting peace. But there are very important aspects of the 2018 revitalized peace agreement that have not been met yet, and one of them is to graduate and deploy a national army made up of forces of the opposition government, and also the parliament has not been constituted there. So I don't even know how the president is running that country if parliament is not really constituted there. What, according to where you see it, is the biggest obstacle when it comes to the elusive peace in South Sudan?
Miriam, on my understanding with South Sudan, where I know very well, let us not think that a piece of paper is going to make people change. We are just fooling ourselves. Dr. Masanga said, me, I'm always telling the truth. It's just agreement is a piece of paper. Am I right? But the situation is that, are we ready to change? Are we ready to implement it? Are we ready to make our country better? This is where the commitment lies. And by seeing the things going right now, mean that there is not a lot of effort has been done in South Sudan, right? Right now, the reason we are giving is a funding or lack of money. Lack of money has not been the reason. South Sudan, they was having a lot of money, but they mismanaged it. How sure are you that if right now UN or Kenya give them money, they will start to rise the country? If even the leaders, if they are not even ready to move forward, to embrace this peace and to make sure that they can implement it. You are telling me that people living in the hotel, they kick them out, all of them. Can you imagine? And those as the peacemakers, maybe they come from different region and now they are living in the hotel that the government cannot pay and they kick them out. So without this funding, are we moving forward or we are stagnant, right? That is the question I'm asking. If they did not get the funding, mean that the country cannot move forward. We're supposed to have a solution. We all know that the war in South Sudan has never made anything better, but it makes things worse for them. And it takes them maybe 50 years backward. 50 years back. In order for them to rebuild the country, to bring peace, it's going to take them 50 years. Either they like it or not. But now the question is that, are they ready to change? This is the question we need to ask them. Are they ready now to change and to bear the consequences? Because right now is the time to bear the consequence and to make sure that we need to change, we need to do a step ahead. How always if we are talking, we need UN, we start talking about we need UN within AU. Are we not responsible for ourselves? Why did we need United Nations to come and fix our problem? If United Nations have to fix our problem, why do we need independence then? Why do we need independence? If you are not even able to run yourself, you want UN to come and run you. So why do you need independence? We can't eat our cake and have it. We have to choose one. Either we eat our cake or we have it. The situation what's going on in South Sudan right now is a little bit complex for the whole African countries, not just for them. Because things are not getting better. Because the leaders and everybody want to be a leader. And who is going to be a follower then? Everybody wants to lead in South Sudan. There is no followers. That's why there is no peace. Everybody is a boss. So mean that even their constitution is not even suitable for their country. If you go through, because no one is respecting it. Are they ready to change? If they are ready to change, let them come out with the roadmap. Let them implement. We don't even need them to talk about peace agreement. Peace agreement is a piece of paper. What the implementation of this agreement? What step have they done to make sure that now the Sudanese, the people can trust their government, to make sure that right now I can trust this government? Since I started, have they done something that you call Sudanese? They will tell you, no, right now I believe my country is moving forward. None. This is the question, Miriam. We need to ask them a question that, are they ready now to change? Because change is a difficult thing to do. How many peace agreements they signed? I think 3 or 4. Dr. Matsanga is witness. A country that have more than 5 vice presidents, maybe in the future they will add 5, 10. Maybe in the future the country will never have CS minister. Everybody have to be vice president in order to have peace. So we are adding just expenses, but we don't even know how to create the money. This is the situation. If UN is asking them now to be accountable for the all oil for the last 10 years, they cannot account it. How are you going to give someone money that he cannot account for the last one? Mm-hmm. This is the situation we are going through, Miriam. Back to you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Ambassador. Very vital points there you've raised. Yes, if you cannot account even for the little money you're making, which is not very little, by the way, according to World Bank, which released a financial report on South Sudan, I think 2 years ago, you cannot account for that money, and you still want us to fund your peace process. Some of that money you're making, a good percentage of it could be going to the peace process if at all you meant well. Douglas.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
That is one point that I don't want us to defer. That if we enter that way, we are finished. I wish you listen to what Dr. Masanga is trying to say. If you go that way, that you account. You have given people some factions through the peace deal. Why don't you fund? Are you again turning again and asking for accountability?
But there has to be accountability, Professor.
Listen this, and there's a point which you developed and which I do not see you looking into it. The oil and the resources of Southern Sudan is what the international community is fighting for.
Mm-hmm. And China is in the middle of it, by the way.
Very well. So that's why that's why we are saying, if you want peace in Southern Sudan and you mean it, fund it. Let it be blessed under the United Nations.
Exactly. Look here.
That's what it is.
For example, the medium Professor and Maina, and let's now discuss free flow.
Yes.
Miriam has brought a very serious point, and the Professor, you have raised a very good point. Why do they fear to put it under UN?
Yes.
Because there is interest, and the country where Maina is sitting talking now has interest in the middle.
But there is a process, Dr. Masanga, to put the country under UN. There is a process.
We kept quiet when you delivered your
Go ahead then.
Of accountability.
Go ahead.
Accounting for what?
Yes.
What they don't have. This whole thing is taxed up to Port Sudan. The money they get from Port Sudan is peanuts. Civil servants have not been paid for almost 3 years, 4 years. Now, I agree with Miriam on the question of accountability.
Correct.
Agencies cannot throw money when they don't see whether your hair has been combed or not. If I gave you money for cutting the hair to smarten it so that lice does not walk on your white shirt, and then tomorrow I see lice walking on your white shirt, I will not give you again. That's the point. You made it. You are right. But Miriam, behind all this and the minor, there is someone who is making it very difficult for that peace to hold, so that he says, I am the one who brought it, and I want it. And I'm telling you, one day you'll ask me, are the Chinese not at the center of it?
Yes.
Total Oil packed its goods and came through Uganda looking for oil, then arrived in Kenya, asked for oil. They bought the oil. Total Oil bought oil, the Tarwa oil from Turkana. They bought all the regions. Have you seen the French talking about the Kenya anymore?
No.
Now they say it is very good, bring Pujo, manufacture here, there, because they have got what they wanted. The French Total Oil say, we have left South Sudan, bye-bye. We came here for the oil, we didn't get it, there is nothing, we are going home. Now they have stabilized here, buying Total oil, they are going back there. Now see, Lochoga, which is near Lodwa. What is the place called?
Lokichar.
Lochiga. Whatever, you will correct the pronunciation of the place. They are there. You know what they are doing? Covert and overt operations.
Correct.
Seriously. To make sure that nothing works. And then come out. Have you seen Miriam bring another topic tomorrow, selected of this? Have you seen the mess in ICC? Have you seen people running out, surrendering their certificate, I'm going home? Have you seen the way they have raised hell on Karim Khan, the one that we are celebrating here? Have you seen the hell? They have said you will not get even our penny more. You will not get it. You will run it. You want to touch Israel, you will see. So it is a terrible international conspiracy.
Conspiracy, yes.
That is killing partly South Sudan. And Miriam is also correct. There is very bad manners among us, we Africans, when it comes to spending.
Because South Sudan, as it is right now, is the second most corrupt country in the world. Yes. Somalia and then South Sudan. So you cannot have your cake and eat it, as Ambassador there said.
Let me tell you, if we go, I agree. You know very well I hate corruption. I want everybody to be accountable. The moment we go that line, Miriam, those people will tell them you are corrupt, you cannot be accountable, you are not going to fund, and that will be the end of Southern Sudan, Miriam.
But you don't think the world has been holding them very, very, is it Kubembeleza, for a very long time?
Miriam, listen to what Dr. Masanga is telling you.
All right.
The international community wants Southern Sudan to fail.
Okay, good. So now I have the latest news there before we continue. A government delegation has traveled to Kenya for peace talks with a section of the South Sudan Opposition Movements Alliance, that is SOMA. They've come to Kenya today. The team is led by Dr. Barnaba Mariel Benjamin, the special envoy to President Salva Kiir. The talks will be held in Naivasha starting tomorrow. The peace talks started in 2019 by the Rome-based Catholic community of St. Gidio, and the mediation is aimed at supporting an inclusive peace agreement in South Sudan by persuading the holdout group to join the revitalized peace deal signed in September 2018. The SOMA coalition is led by Thomas Cirillo, Paul Malong, Pagan Amum, among others. So as we speak right now, I think those threats must have worked, because now they seem to have resumed and they want to bring in the rest of the holdouts, yes, to continue.
Yes. Now we are going to get the peace. You know why? St. Gidio is involved.
Pope kissed them.
Miriam, Pope kissed me.
Okay.
Mine was Pope Paul kissed me. Mama Babas and the rest in Rome. Mine was not the legs, mine was the hands. And I got the peace for Uganda. I got the peace for Uganda. Look at me. Let me. I got it. The Pope Paul who died kissed us. And the Pope does not kiss.
But that worked. That worked, Doctor. The Pope kissed you, and that was a very great sign of go and make sure there's peace there. But this one's, it has not worked.
The Pope has kissed them, and they did not work. You wait and see. Very soon. Wait. They have to get the peace. My friend, when the Pope kisses you, you live longer, you deliver what he wants. In Rome, St. Gidio, Dr. Fabio, I want to greet you. If you are in Nairobi, I know you will make a call to me. That is the greatest man. St. Gideon, once they get involved in a peace process, things work out. And it will work out.
They are the mediators.
But Miriam has a point. Some people are very corrupt. We eat even the children that we produce. In African sense, when they have eaten the money, they call for the children to cut. You saw the recently in Africa, somewhere, a father had to kill his own children in order to claim the insurance proceeds. So we are like that. But South Sudan, if they don't do the basic principles of peace building, and if the UN does not come out and give them full protection cover, we shall have a sick child in Africa. I think that one brings it to a close, unless there is something, a close of on the Sudan. This
very well.
Medium, back to you.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. I will continue this conversation tomorrow on diaspora dispatches, because the peace process starts tomorrow in Naivasha.
My hand.
I think we have to keep talking and hold them accountable. They cannot run away from accountability. If you're making a good amount of dollars there from your oil and you cannot account for it, for the United Nations Security Council to ask for that, they have the information. These leaders must be held accountable at the end of the day.
You are right, Miriam. The United Nations is looking for some Kenyans.
Well,
and some Ugandans. You have not
Professor Enyari, Professor, as long as you spend all your energy thinking that some people are the cause of your problem, you will end up always in problem. Dr. Masanga tell you his friend, they was blessed when they get the independence, they have everything. It's not international community to tell them to fight. They are greedy, my brother. If you don't know them, they have everybody want to take a position. That's why they mess their country. If you mess your house, you come to live in my house, I'll give you the rule. If you mess your money, you need my money, I give you the rule, my friend. This is the world. If you don't understand how the rule works, people have to teach you. How they bless you, they give you independence. You have money, you run your country, you fight, you mess it up, and you're asking us now to give you money. And if we are giving you money, you don't want us to ask you the accountability. How?
But
it's not going to work.
But also there's a point that the professor raised in the points that he raised earlier there.
Professor is covering them that
very important.
They are giving a reason now they need money.
But
we
Professor,
need to account the one you use.
Professor also said there's an issue of lack of trust. They don't have trust with each other, which I think is also very paramount.
Thank you. How are you going to give money to someone who don't trust in each other among them? Who are you going to run the money?
These leaders don't trust each other, and that could be one of the reasons why this peace, has told.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you.
Professor said that, so he gave other good points.
Yes.
Miriam,
yes.
Miriam, let me just help my brother Minor. All that you are saying, Minor, those are theories. We want to be practical. The people of Southern Sudan needs peace. The house of Southern Sudan is burning. This is not the time for us to ask it. Minor, listen to me. This is not the time to ask why is the house burning. And I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say, and I'm persuading you. And the time will come to vindicate us.
But Professor, this house has been burning. We've been trying to put out this fire, and they keep lighting the other parts of the house.
Listen, Miriam. We enter the route of accountability. They will say, you are not accounting for your resources. You are not accounting for the money you are saying. Go and stay on your own. Is that what you want for Southern Sudan? Miriam Avantai said, for peace for Southern Sudan to hold, let them not leave anyone behind. Let them involve everybody. Let them talk to one another. Let them have a conversation, Miriam. Where have I gone wrong? I have given a recommendation. From what I'm hearing from Minor, he's just condemning. He's condemning. What will come out of that? The people of Southern Sudan are sleeping angry. The people of Southern Sudan don't have a house to say. That's why we are telling their leaders, Miriam. and I'm going to pray for the leaders who are coming to Naivasha, that the world is going to get tired of Southern Sudan. It's high time to embrace peace. That's where we are coming from this is where we are coming from with Dr. Masanga. We are saying, Miriam, if the international community, if United Nations means well for Southern Sudan, Miriam, let them just give them funding. When we are saying that for the last 3 years or so, the civil servants have not been paid, Miriam, even when sometimes you are saying there is a lot of corruption, which government will you run if you are not paying your civil servants? There is funding needed for Southern Sudan for the peace agreement to be implemented. Let them bring everybody on the table, Miriam. Even if it means, I've had minor jokingly and with no concern saying they are going to have even 10 vice presidents. If that is what will bring peace to Southern Sudan, be it. Be it. Remember, Miriam, here in this country, in 2007, 2008, how many ministers do we have of the Grand Coalition government, Miriam?
About 42.
There were 44.
44.
Did we set the 4 agenda, which gave the 2010 constitution, which is building on to have a country, Miriam? Let us not get tired, Miriam. If it is 10 vice presidents, which will bring to peace in Southern Sudan, that's what Dr. Masanga is saying. He wrote a paper some years back, they ignored. The point we are raising, Miriam, Southern Sudan needs peace. This is not the time for us to condemn Riek Machar, to condemn Salva Kiir. It is the time, Miriam, to help them.
Yes, thank you. I have actually sent a copy to all of you. Miriam, you have your copy of that letter. Look at it. Look at the type of knowledge I put in there. I said, if they don't do this, they'll still be running in their skirts. By the way, I brought this topic today because I received very high intelligence from Juba yesterday. Don't forget, my boys are around there also. That they were coming for this peace process. Thank you very much, Miriam, for reminding me about their delegation.
All right.
That is very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Very well, Doctor. And of course, the European Union also says now it is time to punish individuals still hindering the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement in South Sudan. A report published last week by Amnesty International noted that vast swathes of South Sudan have witnessed a massive escalation in violence perpetrated by organized tribal militias, exceeding the violent conflict of December 2013.
But Miriam, before we leave this, I know time is running against us. There is one point I want to make, and the panel will agree with me. Over 384,000 people died. And let me repeat, over 384,000 people perished. People went about to massacre, to kill people. I bet the whole South Sudan peace process was done wrongly. If you have gone to school and you want to beat me in an exam, how wrong you were, ask me, I'll write the paper for 400 pages. Nobody's talking about accountability here. How will the ghosts of those guys who died be accountable for when you are looking for money and grabbing more? That's why they curse. That's why they curse, Maina. Nobody has put accountability. The AU did a report, a genuine report. Obasanjo did a report that accused one general, several generals in one of the countries. I don't want to mention them, because when I mention them, they go to the toilet full time. Let me keep quiet for some time. When I mention the name there, they say I'm doing something against them. Let me keep quiet. They all poured there and killed people. They hammered the people. They just slaughtered people like locusts. Nobody has accounted for those South Sudanese who died. Nobody. If I were the one mediating the South Sudan conflict, first, let these people who killed come out openly and say, I was the commander, I am sorry. Until that process agenda number 4, which Uhuru is struggling with. Uhuru is struggling here in Kenya. Miriam, what Uhuru is doing here, or BBI and Mr. Raila Odinga, is agenda number 4, which we did not do in 2008. Have you seen how it came to haunt us? Have you seen how it has come to haunt Kenya today? Have you seen how it's killing Kenya today? Listen to the men who have gone to school. Don't listen to your empty devils around here in Africa telling us that they have anything. That Ruto has something. What? He can't even construct a plant. Listen to people. Have you seen how agenda number 4 is killing you? How people are fighting? How people are calling a conference in Kamukungi? Agenda number 4. How people are saying Kibicho? Agenda number 4. Now you have forgotten agenda number 4 in Sudan, South Sudan. 384,000 Southern Sudanese were butchered. Who is standing for their rights? Answer me.
Thank you, Dr. Matanga. Thank you.
Who is standing for the right of the people who are massacred in cold blood by generals sent by men who are still enjoying in helicopters, living in helicopters in good houses? Who? Tell me I go home cold all year. And then you walk around that you are doing a peace process. What peace process will come out of that? Until there is restorative justice. When people come out and say, I am sorry, I massacred people in Wow, I massacred so many in Kwamba, I massacred so many in Bazel, I massacred, until that one comes. The peace process will be on, off, mirage off, on, back, on, money missing, dismissing. I swear that is going to let people come out and say, what happened in Rwanda, Miriam? Is Rwanda not stable? It's stable. Because the people who slaughtered their neighbors are living together with them. But the neighbors are not picking a panga to go and slaughter them. We have not done something right in the South Sudan peace arrangement. That is why my proposal is place it under receivership. Place it under medium. When Onyari, what under trust?
We are working together, Miriam and Dr. Masanga. We are working together on that point, my friend. You can't tell people to run accounts when they don't have funding.
Because, Professor,
we must go back to the underlying core issues, to the conflict of Southern Sudan.
But it's the core issue, the money, really.
The what?
Professor, is the core issue the funding, really? Is that really the main problem in South Sudan?
I have a question to the panel.
You are asking me.
Yes,
you have given them sign the peace agreement for things to be on how to be implemented. It needs funding. It needs money.
Do you know, Professor, another report was presented.
Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, Miriam, they have told you they don't have money.
I have a question, please, for the panel.
Ask Professor.
Professor, do you believe that is the funding will resolve the South Sudan issue now, actually, the situation we are going through? Do you believe is the funding who is the lack of this peace or something else?
I do because
thank you. I raise my case.
The terms of the peace agreement, Ambassador Maina needs funding.
I raise my case.
And the funding cannot come and be poured to people
who cannot be accountable.
Dr. Masanga, I say I raise my case.
Because even the money, the last time they were given the money, the money for the soldiers now who have not even graduated, a part of it, the government cannot even account for it. And also there are reports that were presented to the United Nations Security Council that showed that the leaders of South Sudan are not really interested in finding the peace there because they benefit in the chaos that are going on in South Sudan. So one, we do have bad leadership there in South Sudan. So maybe that could be the main problem. The funding is just one of the issues there, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is these people are benefiting from the chaos in South Sudan, and so I think they will keep this situation because it's benefiting them. So they'd rather have the status quo and then have all of us here, fired up about trying to get them peace that they're not really interested.
Miriam, all of us reading the book of Lamentations.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Well, they're not really interested. So they're the problem.
And Miriam, in Africa, we have a habit of eating. Look at AMISOM. Have you seen the headline now? Have you seen the headline on the East African newspaper of the Nation newspaper? And corruption in AMISOM has been, it is the worst in Mogadishu. They sell oil, fuel, guns. Again, they are selling the same guns going to Al-Shabaab. Surely, whom do you blame now? Have you seen the headline in the newspaper? The East African newspaper of the day of the Nation House.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the headline. Who is, tell me, Al-Shabaab is getting free things in Mogadishu. Yesterday they killed 20 people. Free corruption. Again, the same guns, the same money. Some people are paying ghost soldiers. They don't exist.
Yes, I saw that.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very bad mind. I don't know why God.
So there's part of a country in AMISOM that is actually supporting President, the Al-Shabaab there. I think that there could be.
No, but that is true. Mm-hmm. But Miriam, we have done a lot of this topic here. There is part of in Mr. Farimajo, the president of Somalia, should be removed. Any means that can remove him, take him out. He's the conduit of the problems we have here. And we are now in Kenya. You know, Kenya is accused of delaying the case. The case starts next week. We are in chaos. Nobody has moved the way I wanted. We have a problem. Let's move to the next topic.
All right. As I said there, for our viewers who are watching, Nalian Garang, I see you saying this is a great forum. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow at around 12 East African time, we shall continue with this conversation. So I hope that you can join us then. We have to keep talking. Otherwise, nothing will move in South Sudan. All right. So let's just turn our attention to Senegal, where violent protests have hit Senegal as demonstrators burned cars and clashed with police after the arrest of opposition leader on Wednesday. Ousmane Sonko appeared in court on Friday, accused of disrupting public order. He also faces rape allegations. And on Thursday, Internet monitor NetBlocks said access to social media and messaging apps was restricted, and some of the protesters have targeted French-owned businesses such as supermarkets and petrol stations because they say that under President Macky Sall, France has extended its economic interest in its former colony. Mr. Sonko, who is the opposition leader in jail right now, says the allegation of rape are fabricated. He accuses President Sall of trying to remove potential opponents ahead of the 2024 election. Two other opposition leaders were excluded from the 2019 election after being convicted on charges with which they say were politically motivated. And I think, Doctor, we talked about this in 2019, and it appears, the elections are away in 2024. It's like what we have here, except it's quite different there. And so President Macky Sall is keen on blocking his worthy opponent not to run for the coming election. But what is interesting is what the people there in Senegal are saying. They're now targeting French-owned businesses, supermarkets, petrol stations, and they're saying under President Macky Sall, France has come back, and they're not very happy about it.
Let me kick it. Look here, my point is this one. I told you, and I've said it. And I've said it, Miriam, from the first day you arrived, I have said it, that over 14 countries in sub-Saharan Africa will have turmoil. And now if you count them for me, that is country number 14, country number 14. I was very clear from intelligence focus, these things were going to happen. In Uganda, we are lucky. Everything went, we have pulled strings from behind the younger man and I told him, leave it. There's another 5 years to come. Prepare. We did silent democracy, silent diplomacy. I'm a very good silent diplomatic man. Maina knows. I might be shouting here, but very silently, I pull so many strings. That's why the rally in Kamkunji, Dairad has not arrived. You will not come there. You have to work for Africa. Let me tell you, which opposition in Africa? That opposition, now the one of Senegal. Senegal has been one of the most peaceful countries. In fact, when I first saw Maina, I thought he looks like a Senegalese. Until he told me he comes from Chad. Then I said, oh my God. So I kept quiet. I don't want to tell you why I said, oh my God. But it's okay. I thought Maina was from Senegal. You remember when I said you are from...
Yeah.
Yes.
From
when
where?
we met
I remember.
the first time, Ambassador. Now, look at this. Sally, that he did very well. But time has arrived. He wants even to cling to power, to change even the constitution.
To allow him a third term.
And give him longer term. There is no difference between Sally and Museveni and others in Africa who win by 99.9%. I have never seen an election won by 99.9%. 99.9 years won. There was no opposition. Even the little rat was crushed. A rat, it didn't vote. So Africa has a big problem. First, we have no opposition. We have opposition that looks for
handouts from George Soros.
Okay.
Yes.
You saw one man in opposition in Africa saying the man in Colombia, Venezuela is the president. People in Uganda said, you see, it is very important when you are fighting for rights of other people who cannot fight like you, to be consistent. To be consistent. Like Raila Odinga has been consistent. Nana Addo was consistent until he came to power. People have been consistent. Uhuru Kenyatta has been consistent. He lost. And he humbly said, I have lost. He's the only one who read a statement to say, I am sorry, we lost. And then he kept quiet, and then later on he came, he won. So we don't have opposition, Miriam. Which opposition? The opposition we have now is opposition where money is funded. Look at Zimbabwe, for example. The same. Senegal, the same. Ivory Coast went to polls yesterday. There were feasts there. Ouattara is doing a good job approaching Babugo so that they can talk. That is very good. If they don't talk, Ivory Coast will explode. Zimbabwe, George Soros is pumping money through NGOs in South Africa to come and overturn a government in Harare. Tanzania, look at the whole mess. Where's the opposition in Tanzania? They have bullets lodged in their teeth, some in the thighs, some in the stomach. No, they have been all white. There is no opposition in Africa at the moment. The only opposition in Africa left is poverty. Because then it brings me to my question, and our contentious subject every day. Look at the looting that is taking place in Dakar. I saw some man bring it to my, and I want to ask this very kindly when I'm seated nicely. Does Africa need elections? Do we need elections?
So we don't need even opposition party then?
You don't need.
Why?
What is opposition? Show me one opposition in Africa. If the opposition is to
we
loot,
don't need them.
If the opposition is to loot goods and walk out with goods, smiling that he's taking to his wife who is waiting at home to eat stolen goods, that is opposition. I am not party to it. But Miriam, all African leaders, my point one, they are hungry for power. They are changing constitutions. There is no opposition in Africa. Opposition seeks handouts from George Soros. And by the way, the man who is going to give more handouts is Joe Biden. That one now gives in huge numbers, in huge dollars. We are going to see the whole Africa here. Any leader who have overstayed in Africa here, be prepared. There is a tsunami. The 4 years are going to be like a volcano of Renzori, Mount Elgon, Mount Kilimanjaro. There will be volcanic. There will be a lot of funding of these boys. You will not run away from them. Talk to them quickly. Talk to them. This guitar musician, talk to them. I'm telling those who are not here, who are up here, who are not hearing. Talk to these guys. Bring them together. Don't harass them.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, Doctor has given us example there in Ivory Coast, and we know what happened last year. President Ouattara blatantly disregarded the constitution, went ahead and mutilated it in the middle of a pandemic to allow him for another term that was illegal. Guinea President Alpha Conde, we saw what happened there in Guinea. So when we see things like this, do you think these are some of the things that would encourage somebody like Macky Sall to think they will just mutilate the constitution, oppress the opposition, as you see now is happening there? And any television station that dared to air those protests has been shut down for about 72 hours now. Things like this, do they encourage such leaders in Africa to think they can just go ahead, do whatever they want and just get away with it because our levels of accountability are just not there at all? Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. What we need to understand is that Africa and also Macky Sall and other leaders in Africa are hell-bent in staying in power. I think power is so sweet in Africa that people can contemplate even staying beyond. Remember when he was coming to power, he was coming to power under a reformist agenda and how he cares about the people of Senegal. And now we know truly it's not even about the Senegalese people. It's about his own ambition for power and all that. We saw his friend George Weah the other day referendum to change the constitution. Everyone was trying to change the change in the constitutions in Africa is not about the people. It's about these people extending their stay in power. So for Macky Sall and all that he is doing,
Okay, we apologize. Very bad signal. Very bad signal from you, Douglas. Okay, I'll just go on to the next person because your signal there is not very good. Daniel.
Leaders and trying to curtail the movement and also the speech against him.
All right, very well. Douglas, we seem to be having a terrible reception from your end there. We apologize for that. So while you find a nice, better place where there's better signal, I'll just move on to Daniel Wesonga. We've seen the opposition there being oppressed, and Doctor has said the opposition in Africa is not as strong, being used. But of course, we've seen a lot of cases by external forces there. But even we see the oppression that is targeted against the opposition in Africa. Case in point, Tanzania. A lot of them ran to Kenya to finally find their way out of Tanzania. You saw just the other day in Uganda. I think it's just in Kenya that we've seen our we're a bit tolerant. The oppression is not too much. You're able to have your democracy and still just be in this country. But a lot of countries in Africa, that is not the case. And now President Macky Sall is said he want to change the constitution to allow him an illegal term there. What is really wrong, with the leadership in this continent, and the protest and the chaos we see now in Senegal that I would say has been created by President Macky Sall and the presence of France. Mm-hmm.
Yes, one thing about Africa is that we are a classical case of what the Bible says, that we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory. When you look at the governments of the day, we find people who are almost hell-bent to ensure that they mutilate the constitution to extend their power, stay in power. When you look at Uganda, Museveni wants to overstay in power. When you look at Tanzania, actually, we have reverberations of talks of Magufuli wanting to extend his term limit. When you look at Senegal, Macky Sall is on the path of extending the term limit there. But unfortunate thing is that, when you look at Senegal, through its founding father, that is President Leopold Sédar Senghor, that was the first African president who ensured that we had a peaceful transition of power in Africa. And therefore, when you see such things happening in Senegal, then it tells you that he's actually backriding on the legacy of the country, a country which marked the milestone of being the first African country to oversee peaceful transition of power. So this comes to light when he sees other leaders in West Africa and the rest of Africa actually trampling upon their constitutions and extending their mandate. We see what happened in the Gambia. Yahya Jammeh was overstaying in power, and when Adama Barrow came into leadership, he had agreed with the other opposition leaders that he was only going to rule for only a single term. But what happened when he got into power? He again shifted goalposts. He amended the constitution and rescinded on the earlier memorandum of understanding that he had with his allies in the opposition. He said that maybe a single term was not enough for him to be able to accomplish whatever vision he had for the people of Gambia. So this has become part and parcel of the African leadership. Whenever we see a neighboring country, a neighboring ally extending the leadership in power, nothing happens about it. It sets a wrong precedent for other leaders in Africa to mutilate their constitutions and with the help of their cronies, extend their stay in power. Mm-hmm. So if this is not checked, Miriam, then we are going to have a very sorry state in the African continent. And this is majorly because the opposition of the day also has fallen short of glory. When you look at Uganda, the opposition was unable to unite to be able to send Museveni home. That is the same case in what is happening in Senegal. The opposition is unable to unite around very tangible issues that are affecting the people of Senegal, and therefore they are perceived as the puppets of the outside forces, the NGOs, and other foreign saboteurs. So unless the opposition in Africa is able to put together a very, very progressive agenda, and it's able to rally its agenda on tangible issues that are affecting the common person at the end of the day, then we shall be having a scenario where the common mwananchi, the common African person, is the loser at the end of the day, because the dictatorial regimes were staying in power so that they are able to benefit from these the resources that are there in the countries, and the opposition also is continuing to propagate their narrative because they are receiving funds from the NGOs and other foreign funders. So at the end of the day, you find that the people of a certain country are left to be on their own. So they are the sole losers in all this. So, and not unless we sit down as a people, the opposition parties sit down and be able to work on a modus operandi which will be able to be based on the issues that are affecting the people, then I do not see any light for the people of Africa. And that is why we need to go back to the drawing board and be able to solve our own problems. Let us not blame the outside world. Our solutions rest with us as a people.
All right, and we have to remember also his predecessor there, Abdullahi Wade, also was defeated when he ran for a controversial third term. So it seems to be a thing there, especially in the West African state, member states there of ECOWAS, and so President of Nigeria complaining and giving them a warning shot there to stop this third term nonsense. But it appears it is a thing over there. But something that really caught my interest, Ambassador, is some of the protesters are targeted during this protest French-owned businesses such as supermarkets and petrol stations because they say that under President Macky Sall, France has extended its economic interest in its former colony. Do you think, from where you sit, President Macky Sall has been acting as a gatekeeper for French?
Miriam, let me explain to you this French system is totally different with the one you know in English. Either we like it or not, from now to 2070, French will run all the French African countries. That is number one. Let me give you an example. The economy of Senegal cannot be determined their GDP only when France sides. Number one, it's not like Kenya. The reserve currency of Senegal is put in France, is not in Senegal. You know, sometimes if you don't understand politics, you just talk what you want. You know, you have to, you clear your emotion, you are happy, but the reality is there. What is the name of this opposition guy in Senegal, Miriam? Can you give me his name?
Sonko.
Bingo is another Sonko then.
Sonko.
Now, let me come back. Thank you. I want you to say it by your mouth. You see, politics is not just because you wake up as a street boy, people like you, you start talking and you understand politics. That is what Africans get it very, very wrong. This guy is just a guy, he wake up because people like him, he think that he understands. Politics is like a club, it's like a UN, it's like a AU, it's like African Union. You can't wake up in the morning and just enter inside. Someone have to hold you and to put you in. But Africans don't understand the things by making the noise you can be in the system. That's wrong, my dear, especially of French countries. I don't know English, but Dr. Matsanga will tell you, you can't be in any system if someone has not pulled you in. We just like to talk, come to TV talk, but the reality is there. In order to run any French country, if French are not with you, you will never run it, my dear, even for 100 years. Don't waste your energy. Because French is controlling them. Because you need to know where is your flaws are before you start talking, knowing what you are doing. Without, if France said they don't want Macky Sall tomorrow, he's not going to be in power. We all know that. So Sonko is just a talking. He's another Sonko. You talk, you go to TV, you call your boys, go and break a supermarket, you know, take anything you want. But the reality of politics, you need to understand. Someone have to teach you. Someone have to bring you in the system. Someone have to recommend you, Miriam. Politics is not just you see them going out to riot. Politics are decision makers. That's why in America they have something they call deep state. They have it in your country. If these people say you cannot be president, you will waste your 100 years without even be an MP, Miriam. Life is run by people and run by system and run by politics. Either you like it or not, but someone have to teach you that. We wake up, we just blame President Macky Sall, we blame God, we blame whoever. But we need to sit down to find out how this system was built. Who is running the system? Who is the last decision maker in this system? The moment you don't know that, Dr. Matsanga will tell you that you are going to sleep on the street.
The people in Senegal seems
Miriam.
not to know who is the decision maker. The people of Senegal seems to believe their president is the decision maker.
Whatever, any place in this world you are going, it's not the people are decision maker. It's 1% of the people in this world decide it for you and for me, Miriam. That is how life is. You need to wake up and to understand that 1% of these people are deciding for another one. That's why the World Bank decide whatever they want with the money. Is people who own the World Bank, they are not 1%. That's why the World Health Organization is deciding for us. That's why France can decide for Senegal. France can decide for Chad, decide for Ivory Coast. This is how it is. So we need now to understand and to manage it, to make sure that we can make it work and we can change it. By talking cannot change. By force, you can't force a system. That's not true. Dr. Matanga will tell you that. There is no system that you wake up in the morning, you want to fight them. No. Sonko is a young boy there, as the same one you have there. He did not understand the politics of French. You can't be somebody in a French country if you are not allied of France. Impossible, Miriam. Impossible.
All right.
If you wake up, how you can accuse your master every day is a bad master, and you want him to nominate you a general manager in his company. And you say your boss is a stupid boss, but you want to be general manager. How? Those countries, you see them, it's like they are company and they're owned by France. And this is France company, and France have to put their general manager there. And you don't like their owner. It's not going to work. Politics with life is the same. Now we need to understand what we do, Miriam.
Okay.
Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. The owner of Senegal there is not very happy. Doctor, what you've been saying about France.
Yeah.
I don't know if Professor is still there.
No, Professor is gone.
Okay.
He's gone.
They conclude for us. I have nothing else to add after that.
First of all, I just want to support Maina, that most of the French-speaking countries are under control of the French. If they don't like the presidents in the French-speaking countries are general managers. The managing director, the chairman, is France. So if it says we don't want you, they will cause a military coup for you. They will do anything. I agree with you. 2, Africans, we have a very bad habit. We always charge our friends with cases that embarrass them. Rape. You remember Besigye was charged with rape. That Besigye raped a house girl. You know, a house help. You remember that? And the case of Besigye collapsed. So we have look at the charges. Why don't you just say you hate the man, but you just love him? Look, you just say there is a small girl there he raped. So where was this girl waiting? If there was a rape, the tests must be done the same day. Now you are going to do tests 1,000, almost 4 years, and this rape did not take place yesterday. It's a long time. So authorities just look for you in Africa. They look for something to blackmail you. So we don't have any opposition. We don't have government. In France, in the French territory, there is no opposition, there is no government. Because the president is a head prefect. The headmaster is France. So if France says we don't want anybody, that's why now the natives have turned, they have said for them to weaken France, we go for their shops, their Total oil, burn their petrol stations. That's what they are doing, so that they leave. Because they think it's too much. And it is too much. And as Maina said, in all this, we have no social contract. We don't have. Do we pay our people on Friday for not working? France pays people. Maina, in fact, Maina there works. But if Maina was not working in Paris where he is now, he would be paid, I don't know, 400 francs a week.
With the money from Senegal, I think.
Yes, with the money from his Chad. Not Senegal, don't go far, from his own Chad. You know, they pay him some peanuts. So people like mine, I encourage them even to stay there more.
Let me even explain to you, Dr. Matsanga.
Yes.
All those French countries, the one we colonized by France, Miriam, when we sell our oil or any mineral resources to international country, 50% of this money have to stay in France
Yes,
reserve.
I know that.
It's
I know
not
that,
coming
Professor.
to our country.
I know that.
So
I even know their budget.
So the boss have to have 50%.
The boss
have to keep the 50%.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Miriam.
As an African, it's really appalling to know that, we walk around here claiming independence. Yes.
Thank you very much. I will join you in a Sudan issue if you want me. But thank you very much for conducting that one. It was a great pleasure. Thank you very much. All the viewers, it was a great pleasure for viewing and seeing, chatting. Thank you very much. That is Africa Showdown from me in the Political Command Center, away from Miriam. Good evening.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. David Matsanga. Thank you, Ambassador, for that bitter truth there about some things that happen in this continent. Thank you, Douglas Kirimi. Thank you, Daniel Wesonga, and of course, Professor Jared Onyari. Let's meet here tomorrow, 9 a.m. East African time, God willing, for another show. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.